Hey everybody, Chelsea here with my very first Sims 4 build challenge. Today I'm doing the 5x5 tiny house challenge, and I'll tell you, this is a challenge. I've seen a couple other people do this one, and I really wanted to give it a go for my first speed build challenge video. I definitely had some trouble with this one. I'm no stranger to small builds, but my goodness, is 5x5 so small. And you're very restricted for this challenge. You're supposed to put one object from every single room type, and 5x5 is all you can work with. You can't put a deck anywhere or anything. So I tried to just make a very small entryway porch by just taking up a 2x1 spot, and a little bit later, once I start working on the interior, I actually just get rid of that because those two squares made all the difference from this being a functional build. So it was such a challenge, and I'm not really a blue person, but going through the doors, something about that blue door I just really loved. So the entire accent color and theme for this build ended up being blue. I'm just making the lot match the surrounding ground textures a little bit. I wanted to make it a little more sparse. My idea for whoever lives in this build, they probably don't have a lot of money, which is why they ended up with a house so small. Nothing wrong with that, but that's probably why they're in here, unless they're super minimalists and living a difficult life on purpose. I'm just putting some plants around, and I'm trying to keep with the blue theme and keeping with the sparse idea, thinking that whoever lives here probably works a lot and is trying to save up and make more money so that they can eventually get a bigger, nicer house that could accommodate more than one person. This is absolutely a single sim home. I definitely don't recommend trying to squeeze more than one sim in here. It's really not gonna work. For the actual playthrough challenge of the tiny home, you're supposed to, I think, have 3 sims living in here, something like that, and you're supposed to get 3 generations out of it, and each generation you build another 5x5 tiny home on the lot. So you would need a bigger lot to do that here. This is just a 20x15 lot. But I figured whoever lives here, probably super busy, they don't have a lot of time to keep up on the landscape, so it's sparse, but it's nice. And here I was trying so hard to make the kitchen work somehow. That's kind of how this whole build went, is just me trying to figure out how the heck I'm supposed to fit all of these items in here so that a sim could live in this home without needing anything else. You know, they've got a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom, a dining area, just the basics that you'd need to be able to live in a home. And the bathroom and the dining area is what gave me the most trouble, because I couldn't really figure out how to make the bathroom any smaller but still be usable. I tried to make it just 3 squares instead, but having that small gap there didn't really help me at all as far as usable space. So I just kept it a 2x2 room and figured it out eventually. I'm still trying to figure it out here. I thought, okay, maybe if I put the square over here, I can tuck the bed in there, but then the Sims wouldn't be able to use the bed anyway because there's a wall in the way. And I thought, well, maybe I could put some shelves in there, and it was going to work better as usable space in the bathroom. There just wasn't really anything I could come up with that would make sense for the space and make it more optimized for usage. So I just ended up keeping it as a 2x2 and still trying to figure out where the heck to put this table so that your Sims could still get to everything. And that's where I take the little entryway porch away, because it was space that I needed, and it gave me just enough room to organize everything inside so that your Sim could go inside, walk around everything, still use everything. This really was such a challenge, you guys. And I loved every minute of it, even when it got frustrating and difficult. It really got me thinking about the anatomy of builds and how to put items in the best spot, how's the best way to optimize your space and make it something that is completely usable but still look great. I didn't put as much clutter in this one as I usually do with my builds because it's such a small space already. I really didn't want to make it feel cramped. It's small, but I wanted it to still be nice and neat and well kept. I didn't want it to be a sloppy home. I like to think whoever lives here really appreciates what they have and what they're able to do with the space. So I did put that little TV on the table just so that they have some form of entertainment in there. And that's pretty much all of the sitting space that they're going to have inside, is just those two little chairs to eat and watch TV with. I ended up going a bit more neutral for the walls and the floors than I originally intended. It was getting a little too blue and it was getting a little too obvious what the theme I was going for was, because if everything was blue, it was just going to look a little too gimmicky. So I went with some more standard colors. I know you can't rent homes in The Sims 4, but I kind of had the idea that maybe this was just a small rental, so the floors and the walls are pretty bare and pretty basic, but you can still hang stuff up on them to make it a little more interesting. And I tried to optimize this corner a bit with some shelves to put spices on and things that you would use for cooking so it doesn't take up the incredibly small amount of counter space that you have. And I kept the clutter off of the counters and the actual kitchen space just so it's clean and usable and fine. I was looking just for a couple other little things to fill in these shelves just so it looks like they do have a purpose. And obviously, looking at how things are in here, this is a very minimalist home, very minimalist lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with that. So by the end of this build, I do think that I am very happy with how it came out. I would like to revisit this challenge a couple of times in the future just to see what else I could manage. I'll probably watch a couple other YouTubers and builders, see what they came up with, and see if I can sort of come up with some more ideas as to how to make the most out of this space. I really, really wish that they would just give us ladders already. Just vertical ladders so we can make bunk beds, so we can make lofts without having to fit in an entire staircase. It would really help out with some builds. It would really come in handy for some interesting ones. So really hoping that they come out with vertical ladders soon. That would be super cool, and I know I'm not the only one who wants those. They would help out so much with some really awesome builds. And here I'm just making the best of the bathroom, doing as much as I can to make it lived in but not crowded and cluttered. And that's kind of all I was able to do with it. I ended up putting one painting in there for the sake of having something on the walls, and that's it. So the interior is done, and now I'm moving on to the outside. I wanted to make the house itself look not so boring on the outside, so I just added a little more plants and some window boxes at one point, just so it doesn't look so bare and boxy, because yes, it is a box house, but I wanted it to just look a little nicer. Like, whoever lives there does like living there, they appreciate what they have. So in the backyard here, I wanted to make use of the space as much as possible, so I'm just putting some little hangout spots, a couple outdoor folding chairs, and a fire pit. I put a couple planters in the back because I was thinking of just relatively unused homes that always have a bunch of planters just stacked in a corner somewhere. Even when we moved into the house that we're living in now, there was just a bunch of planters all over the place with weeds or some kind of plant growing in them. So I wanted to just put those there. If your sim wants to grow something, if they feel so inclined to maybe save some money and start growing some of their own food, that's a cool idea. I put some lounge chairs and a cute little umbrella table in case they do have company. They're probably going to hang out outside. There isn't really a lot of space inside to entertain any company. It is available in the Sims 4 gallery. Just use hashtag #TheSimScribe and you'll be able to find it. It does qualify as a starter home with how much it costs, so if you really want to take the challenge and try to build a life with a 5x5 tiny house, It would be awesome if you picked this one. I would be super honored to house your Sims for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this build, please like and subscribe to the SimScribe. If you have any suggestions on future builds or build challenges, definitely leave those in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!